The eclipse is coming, and everyone's talking about it. There's a lot of actual, like, alternative negative things about it too. I will say that Native Americans believe you're not really supposed to look at it. You're supposed to just stay indoors and just reflect, because as the moon goes over the sun is dying, and then when the eclipse finishes, the sun's reborn, and so they symbolically think and spiritually think that you should take that as a death and rebirth for you. Be serious, just kind of just sit there, in a meditative state, etc., while it's happening. But a lot of people are going to watch it, and there's different negative things that I'm hearing about what's going to happen around during it, and who knows near that time. But I'm not going to talk about that because we don't know what's going to happen. But I will say, this is a video I've been trying to make for a long time, which is like, aren't you tired of being afraid of everything? And aren't you tired of getting so emotionally invested and getting thrown here and there by the news and alternative news? The news, of course, is just they trying to get a reaction out of you, most of the time fear or anger. 99.9% of the time, fear or anger or both. And then even, I must say, like, I've studied every conspiracy theory out there, and I've really delved deep, and there was that stage in my life where I wanted to know, and it was a good period for me. But now it's just it's a waste of time for me now. I already know everything I need to know, and as far as that, and it becomes a point where it just becomes overkill, and it just makes you afraid, no different than the news does. It's just in a different way. So you have the news saying all of these mainstream things to make you afraid. Nuclear war. How many times has they said that someone's going to shoot off some rocket or nuclear missile, and they might start World War III? That's been happening for decades. And I'm not going to say that's impossible, but they keep saying that for decades just to freak us out, and at this point just to freak us out, give us this make crazy reaction, to keep us traumatized, and well, because people listen when they're traumatized. But nothing's happened, and supposedly it got really close during the Cold War, but bottom line is nothing happened. But they've been telling us this stuff, like, what, I don't know, at least once a year, right? It's North Korea, or it's the Middle East, or Russia, or you know what I mean? It's just on and on and on, and they're just keeping us in this just traumatized limbo. And it's just like, I'm tired of it. I'm so tired, because they say don't be afraid of fear. Is nothing to be afraid of, because fear is think that's something in your head. Danger is something to be afraid of. When people talk about, when experts, like, come on now, the news experts, come on, when they tell us something might happen, and they're telling millions of people, that gets into our heads, and then we're changing the frequency of the universe, because every brain is transmitting a frequency, power in numbers. And so whether you believe in that or not, the bottom line is they keep telling us that the world might end, and then COVID, and then millions of people are going to die because of COVID, and then now the solar eclipse. I mean, now it's an alternative news saying bad things can happen around the solar eclipse. And it's like, I'm tired of it. I don't care. Dude, if something happens, it happens. I can't control it, and you can't control it anyway. Being afraid of being afraid of dying before you die doesn't do anything and just makes you feel worse. And then you die anyway. So it's like, I'm so tired of this, and I hope other people can wake up to what I'm selling, which is fear just messes your whole life up. It's complete, and a little bit of fear is great. I mean, you have to have some fear, but you have to move through the fear. But with the media and news and movies included, they're programming us like Armageddon movies, and the Bible has all this Armageddon. So it's easy to make the Bible happen because you already know what it's supposed to be, and then it's like, oh, it was a prophecy. No, people know what's in the book, and then they made that book come to life. Bottom line is, God is love. If you're Christian, for instance, God is love. God is not fear. So, love or fear. And of course, like I said, you have some fear, but you have to move through the fear. But you don't need to add fear. You already have so much natural, healthy fear. But now that stuff is being used against you with the news and alternative news, even the new age conspiracy theories. It's all fear. It's just everyone talking about a different way that the world's gonna end. It's like, is it aliens or some Illuminati, that are trying to depopulate the world? I mean, that's no different than the mainstream news saying World War III is around the corner for the last 20 years. Bottom line is, it's not doing anything for you. It's going to give you diseases later in life. It's going to give you mental disorders later in life. It's going to make you suffer. It's going to make all the people around you suffer because you're giving off this vibe and you're stressed, and there's nothing good about that. And so I'm tired of it. If the world's going to end, then it's going to end. It's fine. Like, of course, if you have compassion, you can have compassion for everyone that's suffering, but I hope I'm gonna be good, I don't care if I'm successful in my life. I more care that I die with without regret and without any worries about it coming. If I can die accepting death, and no matter how it happens to me, then I did amazing in my life. And if the whole world is gonna end, it's happened before. The dinosaurs went through it. We say that happened. So it happens. The earth has cycles, and that's a whole nother topic. But if it happens, it happens. I'm not gonna let fear like ruin my life, and then maybe have something tragic happen to me during my life when I die. It's like I can avoid the first one 100%. And that one's worse because it's constantly happening and it's affecting you for decades and decades until you die a pathetic life with a pathetic life, because everything you did was based on fear. To a degree, it's okay, but it just gets ridiculous with the media and politics and business. Everyone's getting manipulated, like just straight up. Like, fear makes you buy things, fear makes you insecure, not being cool enough, not being good enough. They use that against you. And then now it's always like, oh, we might die. There's going to be a new virus. There's going to be World War III every weekend. There's going to be, and then the New Age will say that the world's coming to an end because of the solar eclipse, or the Illuminati's planning this and that. I don't give a fuck, man. I'm so tired of it. And, supposedly this is a time of chaos and blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, what is that gonna do if I just worry about it? It's like, when the world's coming to end, then I'll be afraid, but at the same time, I hope I'm not. But of course, then that's a really appropriate time to be afraid, when freaking nuclear missiles are falling out of the sky, or meteors or asteroids, or a big asteroid's about to fall onto the earth. It's going to destroy the earth. Well, then that's a good time to be afraid. Before that, I don't give a fuck because it doesn't do anything, and it usually doesn't happen. And then if it does happen, I can't do anything about it. Feel me? Don't be pathetic coward, okay? And I know it's easier said than done, but that's why you have to work at it. But you have to clear your demons. You have to face your demons, clear your demons. But if that's too much and kind of that's because that's a long process thing, but work on your mind, train your mind, work on love, train your heart, awareness and love. I'm over it. I'm done. I don't care about the alternative people saying that the Illuminati is going to do something crazy, or I don't care about the mainstream saying that the countries are going to destroy the world or whatever. I don't give a shit. Or a new virus that's coming or that's planned or not planned. I don't care. If it happens, it happens. Otherwise, I'm cool. I'm going to live my life and focus on me and trying to be the best person I can and help people however I can and do something positive for the whole. And that's it. I'm gonna die with my chin up and my chest out, no matter what happens. Peace.